Imam Sajjad. Ali ibn Hussein, PBUH, known as Zain al-Abidin, the adornment of the worshippers, and Sajjad, the prostrating one, is the fourth Shia Imam, after his father Imam Hussein, PBUH, his uncle Imam Hassan Mujtaba, PBUH, and his grandfather Imam Ali, PBUH, the Prophet's successor. He survived the Battle of Karbala because he was sick and he couldn't fight. He was taken along with the enslaved women to Yazid in Damascus. Eventually, however, he was allowed to return to Medina where he led a secluded life with only a few intimate companions. Imam Sajjad's life and statements were entirely devoted to asceticism and religious teachings, mostly in the form of invocations and supplications. His famous supplications are well known as Al-Sahifa al-Sajjadiyya. Birth in Medina. Imam Sajjad, PBUH, was born in Medina, according to most sources in the year 659 AD, 5 Shaban 38 AH. He may have been too small to have remembered his grandfather Imam Ali, PBUH, but was brought up in the presence of his uncle Imam Hassan, PBUH, and his father Imam Hussein, PBUH, the Prophet's grandchildren. He was related through his mother Sharbanu, the daughter of Yazdijerd, to the last Sasanian king of Persia, Iran. Thus he was said to be Ibn al-Khayratain, the son of the best two, the Quraysh among the Arabs and the Persians among the non-Arabs. According to some accounts, his mother was brought as a captive to Medina during the Caliphate of Omar, who wanted to sell her. Imam Ali, PBUH, suggested instead that she be offered her choice of the Muslim men as husband and that her dower be paid from the public treasury. Omar agreed and she chose Imam Ali's son, Hussein, PBUH. Imamate. In 680 AD, Imam Hussein, PBUH, and all male followers were massacred by the forces of the Umayyad Caliph Yazid at the Battle of Karbala. Imam Sajjad, PBUH, accompanied his father on the march toward Kufa and was present at the Battle of Karbala, but survived the battle due to his illness. Once the Umayyad troops had mass murdered Imam Hussein, PBUH, and his followers, they looted the tents and took the skin upon which Imam Sajjad, PBUH, was laying. It is said that Shamr was about to kill Sajjad, PBUH, but his aunt Lady Zainab, PBUH, was present to make Omar ibn Sa'ad, the Umayyad commander, let him alive. Imam Sajjad, PBUH, was taken along with the enslaved women to the Caliph, and eventually was allowed to return to Medina. During this journey he delivered speeches in the towns of Kufa and Damascus, and informed the people of his father's intentions. Several accounts are narrated concerning Imam Sajjad, PBUH, deep sorrow over this tragedy. It is said that for 20 years whenever food was placed before him, he would weep. One day a servant said to him, "O son of Allah's messenger, is it not time for your sorrow to come to an end?" He replied, "Jacob the prophet had 12 sons and Allah made one of them disappear, Joseph." His eyes turned white from constant weeping, his head turned grey out of sorrow, and his back became bent in gloom, though his son was alive in this world. But I watched while my father, my brother, my uncle, and 17 members of my family were slaughtered all around me. How should my sorrow come to an end? Imam Sajjad, PBUH, had been designated by the order of God as the next Imam. However, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, Imam Hussein's half-brother, said that he was more worthy as leader of Muslims because he was the son of Imam Ali, PBUH. But Imam Sajjad, PBUH, replied to his uncle, "Fear Allah and make no such claim." After the death of Ibn Zubair, the governor of Medina, Imam Sajjad, PBUH, and Muhammad ibn Hanafiya agreed to go to Mecca and appeal to Black Stone, a stone from heaven that was put in Kaaba wall by the Prophet Abraham, to see if they could determine which one of them was the true successor. They went to Kaaba where Black Stone was placed. Muhammad prayed for a sign but no answer came. Incumbent upon you in yourself, from your crown to your foot, according to the diversity of your organs. At the end of the treatise, there are the conclusion comments of Imam Sajjad, PBUH, as follows: "These are the 50 rights that surround you and you cannot evade under any circumstances. It is incumbent upon you to observe them and exert all efforts to fulfill them. You should seek Allah the Majestic's help in this respect. And there is no power or strength but in Allah. And all praise is due to Allah the Lord of the worlds." Martyrdom. Imam Sajjad, PBUH, martyred in 713 AD, 25 Muharram 95a.h, in the age 57. After cruel behaviors of Umayyad Caliphate to Imam Sajjad, PBUH, finally he was poisoned by Umayyad ruler Walid through the instigation of the Umayyad Caliph Hisham ibn Abd al-Malik in Medina. He was buried next to his uncle, Imam Hassan Mujtaba, PBUH, in the cemetery of Baqi in Medina. After his martyrdom, many people found out that their livelihood had come from him. He would go out with a sack of food on his back, knocking at the doors of more than 100 families, and gave freely to whoever answered while covering his face in order not to be recognized. It is narrated, Imam Sajjad had a camel that never had been hit by Imam. After Imam's martyrdom, the camel ran to his grave, laid down on the grave and began to cry. Imam Sajjad's son, Muhammad Bakir, PBUH, who was next Imam, found the camel and asked it for calm. The camel returned home, but tomorrow he ran to the grave again and Imam Bakir, PBUH, brought it back home. For the third time Imam Bakir, PBUH, said to the others, "Leave it alone. It knows that it will die soon." Less than 3 days, the camel died beside the grave. The shrine containing Imam Sajjad's tomb was destroyed in 1925 during the conquest of Medina by Al-Sad tribes, Wahhabi. This was part of a general destruction of memorials and cemeteries for beliefs. In the eyes of Wahhabis, historical sites and shrines encourage shirk, the sin of idolatry or polytheism, and should be destroyed, but it's against Islam's view. It's provable that keeping these memorials and pilgrimage isn't shirk. Wahhabi government of Saudi Arabia, don't let the pilgrims to get close to the graves. They even don't let Shia people make a shrine there.